What is going on? We are going to go over trade ideas, stock scanners, and just mess around with the stock scanners. Just give me a moment. I'm sending out all the invites right now. All right. Let me fire it on up. So let me bring all this over here. Bring you guys back up. Alright, if you have any questions down below, feel free to comment. This is the Trade Idea Stock Scanner here. I use this every single day I'm in the market, every day. When stocks pop up, start getting momentum, either breaking out to new highs, hitting new lows, this thing will tell me, and I can customize this thing to pretty much find anything in the market. If I want to find stocks that are breaking out to new 52-week highs, I can customize a scanner for that. If I want to find a stock that's just breaking over the moving average, the 200-day moving average, I can get stocks like that. That's what you could do with the power of trade ideas. They got this little high-low ticker right here, and what this high-low ticker does is it scans the overall market and it gives you a percentage on stocks that are breaking out to new lows, and it'll fill up more with the red, or if stocks are breaking out to the new highs, and it'll fill up more here in the green. Then you also got a little profile right here too, so if I click on a ticker or type something in, let's look up Facebook. Facebook will give me a little rundown of the information here, the fundamentals of Facebook. And if I ever wanted to add or change anything, I just right click it and I click this configure button. There's a lot of stuff you can add to it. So the columns, you got all these columns that you can add right here. Their cash, their average true range, their RSI, their revenue, held by insiders. I don't get too much into the fundamentals of it. I just keep it basic. I just want to know what the float is, the shares outstanding, the market cap, their average true range, average daily volume, held by institutions, and they're held by insiders. I don't really care for their revenue. Their earnings date I'll have on there. The short float percentage, today's range, their cash, current debt, and the RSI for the daily. And then that's that for that. And then I can also click on the profile. Let me make this bigger. If I click on the profile, it'll give me a summary and a rundown of the company, what it is and what they do. And it'll tell me on what exchange it's on, what sector it's in, subsector, industry group, industry, and sub-industry. And then right here, they'll have just basic information, the day volume, the relative volume, the percentage it's up. So that's a must on my time right there. And then I have a chart right here for if a stock pops up on my scanner, I can click on it. So let's go to the biggest percentage gainers, and let's go back to Friday. So MYSC, if I click on that, I have it synced to this chart, and this chart will pop right up. And I can change this chart from an intraday, or I can change it to a daily chart, just like that. And I could scroll with my little mouse here with the wheel, or if I hold the control button on my keypad and scroll, I can zoom in and zoom out, just like that. If you don't like white, you can change it to a dark theme, but I don't really care too much for the dark theme. It's a little too much dark. Bring that back to white. I also have the volume on here, and then this right here is the S&P 500. So I'll have the daily chart right here, and I have the intraday chart right here. This is the 3-minute. I normally look at the index in a 5-minute time frame because the index is more long term. And I just simply have it up to know the current situation, how the market is for the day. Is it going sideways? Is it surging up? Is it surging down? It's good to I want to physically see how the overall market is doing, because 3 out of 4 stocks follow the overall market. So this video, I just wanted to mess around with trade ideas, see if I can come up with a few scanners, maybe tweak mine a little bit. You always want to tweak because the market's always changing. So recently, like pot stocks have been exploding and taking off. So the hot sector right now are pot stocks. And another thing, penny stocks, stocks under $1, stocks under $5 with a high float have been trending up and moving very well. So I want to create scanners that try to find those. And then this channel bar right here is pretty cool. I don't really use it too much, but what's cool, you can go to every one of these channels, and if there's something that you liked out of one of these channels, you can just save it and keep it as your own and customize it, or keep it the way it is. So they already have a 420 in play right here. Let's go ahead and click on that, but let's just see what they have right here real quick. So they have MyCloud, and then they have 3 artificial intelligence. So they have Holly, Holly Neo, Holly 2.0, and Holly Grail. Those are artificial intelligence that they do their own custom scans and they do their own custom trading. And you can follow it if you want to, but I'm not subscribed to the artificial intelligence, and that's like an extra, it's like $120 a month to have that. So I just have the basic plan. It's like 112 or 118 a month, but well worth it. As you can see, you can create your own scans. You have your own little profile. So when a stock pops up, I don't have to keep going to Finviz or Yahoo Finance to see what the float is. I can just simply create a scanner with it showing me what the float is and the volume is, or when I click on something or type something in, I have the profile with all the information right here ready to go. So the only thing that would be cool that what Trade Ideas could have is like a news streamer. That would be the ultimate package. So going back to the channel bar here, then we got pre-market, regional banks, alpha predator, blockchain and cryptocurrency, short squeezed, social media, surge, swing ideas, low float, sector ETFs, trade the gap, price up movement, price down movement, earnings, trending, 420 in play, defense, China, biotechs, fundamentals, penny movers, tech titans, active trading, metals, energy, ETF focused, infrastructure, options, volume, channel 4, after hours, welcome screen, Barry's window, live trading chat room. Barry's window is through the trading week, Monday through Friday. He does like a commentary and he does screen sharing, so you get to see the stocks he's looking at, and he does commentary over the market, and he has a chat room of other traders, throwing out ideas, asking him questions. I've only clicked on it to check it out. It was nothing that really interested me, but it's there if ever you need it. And then the live trading chat room, I've never clicked on that one before. Let's just see what it is real quick. Okay, so it takes you right to a website right here to create login, name, and access. And I guess you probably access his trading room with him doing the commentary. Channel 4. Let's see what Channel 4 is. Alright, it looks like Channel 4 is just like a little bit of everything. You got squeezes here. You got horseshoe down. So pretty much the U-shaped breakout. Top reversal, turbo breaks, 3 days, sector analysis. Okay. So it's like a rundown. So I get it now. So like Channel 4 News or something. Like a rundown of all the sectors right here. Sectors and just random strategies. Click on volume. See, now if I liked this whole setup, I could just, or if I like this setup but I wanted to tweak it a little bit, I just right click on it and I just simply click on configure and then I click advanced. And then I go up in here to the Windows specific filters and I can just pretty much create it the way I want it. I can do the range and the flow, earnings date, shares outstanding, stuff like that. The volume today, that's the percentage, and the price. So let's say I don't want to scan for stocks from $2 to $500. I want to scan for stocks from, let's say, 50 cents to $10. I can just simply input that in here, so 0.50, and I'll tab over and I'll put 10, and then I'll click OK, and then it will have a rundown here, which is a summary of everything that you have set up in here. And you can see right here in the filters, stocks where the price is between 0.5 and 10, and then the rest of the filters that they had. And then I'll click OK, and there you go. It just set that up like that. Now it's scanning the market for stocks between 50 cents and $10. And then let's say out of this, I like this whole setup and I want to keep this. I go to File and I go to Save Layout, and then I also save or share it to the cloud. But then let's say I only want this volume thrust right here. I'll right click on this and I'll go to the Save to Cloud right here, and then I'll also click the Save As. And then if you want to, you can save contents or save as default. And then when I go back to File and I click Load Layout, and if I load my layout that I have, I'll load that up, and then I'll come back into File and I'll go to Load from Cloud, and I will select this one right here, and it'll pop up, and I'll place this wherever I want it. And then I'll go back up to the File, and then I'll go to Save Layout, and then I'll save that as that how I want it when I start it up every single time. They have a lot of cool custom scans in here. A lot. Alright, let's dive deep into this. Let's get into some custom scans. If there's any custom scan that you have an idea about, feel free to comment or anything. And actually, just let me write that right now. Alright. So, like I said, the pot stocks have been going off lately. So let's load up the 420 and play. So we don't need the index. We got the weed watcher. And we got the 420 index volume trends. And the 420 index up from close. Okay. So let's see what we got here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go into this real quick, and I'm going to configure it. A lot of these pot stocks are in the OTC market. I don't like trading OTC stocks. So let's go to the exchange. Let's declick the pink sheets. And that's it. Click OK, OK. There we go. Same thing with this one too. No pink sheets. Also, I want the range, the price range to be from, I'll say $20. From I'll say 10 cents. and then the Weed Watcher. This is how many strategies it has in it. So it has the getting high strategy, bumming strategy, 60-minute toke up, and 60-minute stash loss. Okay. So let's go to configure all and add selected. We'll go down to price, 0.10 to, oops, $20. $20 make you holla. And then I'll go on to the history, and let's go to time frame. We'll go from now to, let's go 5 days ago. Try that out. And then same thing with this one. I'm going to go to time frame, use historical date, and let's go back to Friday. Friday at 4:30, I'll say. 4:30 p.m. And this is what it's all about. Just going through on the weekend and just going over everything that happened during the previous week and see, like, the market likes to trend. The market is very, very trendy. And pot stocks have been trendy, and stocks with, you'll notice things that are happening. A lot of stocks under $1 start exploding, and they're all higher float. So that becomes a thing. That's a trend. So a trend that I've noticed, a lot of stocks under $1 and a lot of stocks under $5 with a higher float. I'm talking 30 million, 90 million, even over 100 million in float. They've just been exploding and moving really good, like low float stocks do. So you either create a scan to go off of what you've been observing, or you just keep track of the stocks that have been going up and just look at charts. And then we'll do this one, and then we'll get going into it. Alright, and all we gotta do is just simply click on these and they'll go up. So I got the daily right here, and I got the intraday right here. I'll make this a little bit bigger. Let's see, let's put these scanners down here. And we'll make these charts bigger. So we got INSY with the flow of 26 million. see, 820 up to 860. I'm not really seeing anything with it until it gets over at least 850, because I'm seeing resistance here and right here. Let me zoom out a little bit. A lot of resistance here at 850. You can see it got stuffed here, here, and then all right here. So 830s to 850s has been really tough for this. And when it does, or if it does get over 830, 850, it's got room to run up here to 1050. So this has potential. So I'm just going to write down stocks that look good. I'm just going to simply write them down to go over tomorrow and get more into depth with them for preparing for the upcoming week. So INSY. And better yet, if I pull up my trading platform here, we can go over it here too. So INSY, let me bring over the daily chart real quick. This is the daily chart. And also, the red line is the 200-day, the blue line is the 50-day, and that little orange line, that is the 13 EMA. And like I previously said, it's got this resistance right here at 844. And it's got room to run up to at least 1060, 1050 from what I can see. But I also don't want to predict anything either. I hate trying to predict what stocks will do or whatnot. Also looking at different time frames, the monthly, the weekly. Look at the bigger picture and then just slowly work your way in. So I got my watch list right here. I'm going to create a new one. And I'm just going to name it pot stocks. I'm going to add INSY. And you can see too, it's in this range. So this is the 3-minute, and it's in this range from 830 all the way up to here to 880. 860 to 880. So I'll put a support right there. That dotted line you just seen, that's just the previous day close. So I got that, and I'm going to put a resistance line right here at 860. And 880. So until it breaks out of these range, you could play the range, or you could wait till it breaks out of the range. That's what's great about trading. There's a strategy for anything. Back to the scanners. XXII. Once upon a time, XXII was hot. It really was. And if you go back and look way back here, let me pull it up here. XXII. This was like literally last year, last summer. This was really, really popping off and hot because it came out with news about, it's a cigarette company, so they had an idea to come out with these cigarettes with less tobacco in them. And when they were waiting for clearance from the FDA or something. And when they released that, the stock just went nuts and just went on a really great run. Let's see. I think it was back here. No, that's 2013. Was it right here? I don't know. But it does look like it does like to run up. And it looks like it's creating a squeeze as well. You see these lines right here? You got your 200-day and your 50-day. They're coming together really, really tight right here. So all we need is for that 50-day to start moving up and pop over that 200-day. You'll get a nice little explosion out of this. So if this starts getting back above, I'm going to say 275. 275 working its way up to $3. This will be worth keeping an eye on. Most definitely. Let's see what it looks like on the weekly. So you can see right here on the weekly, right in this range, it went from 87 cents. Every week it was trending up and up. Then it consolidated for 2 weeks, and then it moved up really big right here, all the way up to 644. And this is what it's all about, taking the time, even if it's on the weekend, and just looking at charts. I love looking at charts. You got to do it every single day. Really good right here. You got, remember, this is the weekly, so every candle is 1 week, 5 trading days. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 weeks. That's 4 months. It made this move right here. From 88 cents up to a high of 630 something. Let's look at the monthly. Okay. So this $3, $3.50 area is very important on the monthly. So that's like where it maxed out at. Right here at 350 and here at 310. So I'm just going to say $3. I wish with this platform though, when I plotted something like on the monthly, it plots it also on the weekly and the daily for me as well, so I don't have to keep going back and looking. Also, let's look at the volume. Since the pot sector has been going on and heating up, what's the volume like on this? So we had 1 million. So it's averaging about 1.5 million a day. Okay. Switch over to the 5-minute. See, and look at that. It's you can clearly see this range right here. This area was a resistance for this stock. It tried it here, 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 all right here. And this is on the 5-minute. And it just couldn't break over this 250. And it did a little bit right there, but it was like a fake out. It come right back down from 240 up to 253. And then look at it right here. You can see it surged up. It finally broke that area. When it broke that area, it surged up 25 cents. Comes down, comes back up. You can see it had trouble right here again. Comes down, comes back up, failed. And then it bounced right here. And just like right now, where it's bouncing right now, this resistance right here. So this resistance is now looking like it's holding as support. So I'd be looking for XXII 250 to hold as support. Let me write that down. And this is looking like it's having a resistance at 290, 280, just to be safe. So we got a possible 30 cent, but it takes a couple days for it to go up to that. Let's see what the 15-minute looks like. Same thing with the 15-minute. And then the 65-minute. You can see every time right here. I'll draw a line. This 250 area here and here and here was a tough resistance for it. It came down and bounced off it right here. And now it's bouncing off it, trying to get it back above it right here. VBIO, let's see what that's got. Doesn't look like it has any volume. VBIO float is, it's got a low float at 2.8 million. Right here. Let's see. Pull up the daily. It's bouncing right off of that 50-day right here. A lot of resistance though, right here at 237. 225, I'll say. Let's see the weekly. See, it's got a history right here. Look at that. One from 5 cents. It runs all the way up to 246. Okay, what I also see on here, look at this little pattern right here. You got a higher low pattern on this. So you draw a line just like that. And it's topping out right here. Like 270. There. I feel comfortable with that. So now I'd wait for this to break out of this pattern right here. And remember, the longer the time frame, and then if it breaks out of that pattern, the stronger the move it's going to be. This is a low float stock. If I go to the daily, it has history of running here and somewhat here, and it hasn't ran in a long time. It's got a history of running right there too, and it's literally almost there, $2 away from breaking new highs, multi-year highs. Let's see what it looks like on the monthly. Okay. What's the average volume on this? Not much, like 100,000. I'd say average volume is like 150,000. It's possible. I just don't like how it doesn't have any volume though. And then we got Cron, short for chronic. This has been the hot one. This has been the one that's had everybody's attention. And look at all these gap ups right here up, and then a big sell off, and then it starts gapping up again, and then it's got like this rounding shape right here, and then it falls down, and then right here at 9:30 it rallies all the way up to almost $11. And this has been the one everybody's been crazy about. I really haven't been paying much attention to this one. And if you go and look at multiple time frames, look at this is the weekly. So you see right here, this is the resistance on it at 950. And if you come over resistance right here, so let me put a line. So you see you got resistance right here. Now if you come way over here, look at where it's bouncing off of. Old resistance is now becoming support. And that's straight up. I can't make it more clear to you than showing you. And these charts love doing this. Old resistance is now support. You know, you don't compulsively buy when stocks are breaking out and to new highs. Look at the history, look at the charts, see where resistance is, see where support is, put it all together, and wait for your play. Now if you come over, so I got support here, great support on the weekly at 988. Let's see where that's holding up here on the intraday charts. 988. This is the 5-minute. You somewhat can't tell it's liking to bounce off this 988 level. Let's go to the 3-minute. Right here down at the bottom. So right here, ran from 988 up to 1035, pulls back to 10, runs up to 1050. And then on the 65-minute chart, you see the 988 level. It had resistance here, and then now it's bouncing right here. So 988, $10. You could literally see it go up, 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 and then it's just like reached this max high, and it just like went sideways. That's a clear indication that this is about to fall. It did pop over a few times, but that was probably just from momentum coming into it. So many people buying into this. If you go and let's look at the volume. Volume's outrageous on this. So the daily, yeah, 20 million, 24 million, 83 million, 81 million, 43 million, 67 million. Ridiculous amounts of volume. And then on the weekly, 102 million, 183 million, 278 million, 109 million. 4 weeks. Huge, massive amounts of volume. And then the monthly, almost $500 million in volume. And then $250 million in volume. See right here, this only has 2 million in volume. And this is only 10 million in volume. What's the float on Cron? $150 million. IMLF has a history of spiking. Let's see. Might not pop up. Or did I spell it right? IMLFF. There we go. Okay. So another pot stock here. Let's go to the daily. So the daily, excuse me, the daily's showing it likes a spike. It is also obeying its moving averages. So it's bouncing off of the 200-day right here, acting as resistance, coming down. Now it's stuck. Now it even just dropped below all these moving averages. So you see for a second it was stuck in between the 200-day here and the 50-day. Let me zoom in. Just bouncing off the walls here in a range from 60 cents to 83 cents. And now it just cracked below the 50-day here. So I really don't want no part in it because it's got a wall right here and it's got a wall up here. And if a stock is below the 50 and the 200-day moving averages, it's bearish. You can see right here on this trading day, it came right up and touched it. And that can run back down and closes just below that. So you can clearly see right there that these moving averages act as support and resistance lines. But the stock does have a good history of spiking. I'll give it that. Like a 20-cent range on it. let's see. Average volume is like 1.5 million. See, this is the 15-minute. Let's look at the hourly. This is the past 5 days on the hourly. Let's see. I'm not really liking this chart too much. So it recently just reported earnings right here, you see. Okay. So this is going to be on watch. Most definitely. What's the float on this? 142 million. Okay. So if I come back here, let's see the daily. How does this react on earnings? So history releases earnings right here. Stock goes sideways and then falls. Stock releases earnings here, keeps falling, then it starts trending up. Earnings again, falls down, then trends up. So what I'm seeing is the stock likes to release earnings and then continue to drop and then start trending up. You can see it here, 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 here. I won't apply that one. So that's why too, I've also heard it from Tim Sykes. When a company releases earnings, and it's good earnings, it doesn't mean the stock immediately will spike. You know, it could fall with great earnings. And sometimes the news takes time. You know, a company releases earnings, it could take 5 days for that to start trending up or going up with its earnings. It could take 2 weeks. Another example, I'll give you one, is ODFL. This is a great example. And multiple examples. So ODFL, Old Dominion Freight Lines. Recently, they released earnings right here when the stock was at 153. It drops all the way down to 142 and hits a low of 134. This is the daily chart. So it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So it took over 3 weeks for this to start making this move up after releasing earnings. And they released really good earnings. That's $1.99 earnings. That's really good. And it goes from it broke out of this range at $1.50 and ran all the way up to $1.70. That's a $20 move there within a few days. A good example right here. They released earnings. Again, positive earnings, $1.32. Stock continues to drop. Everybody's asking why. Why are they released? They released good earnings. Why is the stock dropping? And then, after a few days, it starts trending up. Sometimes news takes time. You know, when a company first releases news, not everybody's going to know about it instantly. And this is also in a great pattern. Great pattern. You see it keeps coming down to this 130 level, and then it's got resistance right there. Basic technical analysis. Playing in this range, pops out of the range, then slowly falls back below it, comes up to it again, falls back down, releases earnings, and then each day the stock keeps making a higher low. Just like that. Besides this one day right here, each day the stock closed a little higher. The low of it closed a little higher. So this is an ascending wedge. And then it finally broke out of this wedge and popped up, comes down, and then explodes up. That's basic technical analysis. I like this ODFL chart. This is a great, great chart. Look at that. It's just been growing and growing and growing and growing for any long-term investments. See the weekly. See, it was all the way down here at $1 back in 2000. Today it's up almost $200. That's crazy. But it took 18 years to get there. You know, a lot of people don't have patience to hold on to something for 20 years. But like I tried explaining a couple examples to people, this is just a great, great chart right here. In perfect range with support and resistance right here, popping out of it. And then recently here with the ascending triangle popping up and out of it. And that just doesn't go with earnings as well. A company could have really great news about a new product or FDA approval or just a good contract winner. You know, just because they released it that moment doesn't mean it's going to explode up. It could just keep dropping and then 2 weeks later just spike out of nowhere. News sometimes takes time. Alright, so moving on. We just went over IMLFF. I wasn't really too sold on it because it's below all of its moving averages. It is a low float, but I don't want to play anything that has a lot of upwards resistance. EMM. EMM has a float of 102 million. Looks like it recently just had a big dump. Let's see. EMMBF. Okay. Looks like it's a stock that loves playing with the moving averages. You can see right here, well, it goes back a ways. So right here, this 200-day was acting as a resistance. It kept bumping off of it. Right here acting as a resistance. Right here acting as a resistance. Somewhat acting as a support right here. And then it acted as resistance. Acted as resistance again. Now it's falling back down to this 200-day. I'd be looking for that to hold as support. Because this was a really tough resistance right here, all right here, and somewhat right here, going back all the way right here to February of this year. I don't really like the range on this though, because it's from right here is $1.30 going up to $1.60. 30 cents. It's not enough for me. Plus, it's a higher float stock at 150 million. This is the weekly. So I would say it's overextended too. I don't want to buy at the top. And then this is the monthly. Not really too much going on. So I don't like that one. What do we got next? EMM. That's the same thing. What about Zane? Z-Y-N-E. It's below the 50-day here. Has a big drop right there. Probably did an offering. Alright, let's look at this one. There's good examples on this I can give. Z-Y-N-E. Hey, no problem, El Toro. No problem at all. I love doing this. Love doing it. Every chart tells a story, and it's up to you to put that story together. That's why I love looking at charts so much and looking back. You literally get to see the emotions, the greed, and the panic when observing and looking at charts. And I don't care if I have 2 viewers or 3 viewers. I'll always be doing this because there's always those couple people that are out there that will actually put the time into this. And that's what it's all about. People complain about the stock market's rigged. You never have a chance. It's gambling. And they tried trading stocks and they failed miserably. You got to put the time into it and dedicate yourself to this, because it takes time to put it all together and actually understand everything that's going on. It took me almost a year to put everything together and figure it out, and I'm still growing as a trader. I'm not 100%. I still lose money. I make money. I'm under 2 years, so more than happy to share my journey and try to help other people learn from my mistakes. So ZYNE here. And for anybody that's in the chat room, we're going over pot stocks. So I'm bringing up trade ideas. We're bringing up the pot scanners, and we're tweaking them a little bit. And we're just going over a lot of these pot stocks and writing ones down that interest me the most to keep an eye on. So far we went over INSY that I liked, and XXII I also liked. So then I write these down right now, and then tomorrow I will do another watch list video to scan the overall market for stocks. A lot of stocks last week just started popping up and falling down, but there were a few that got my attention and I still want to keep on radar. And it's good to remember, when a stock spikes big and huge, you want to keep that on your watch list for the next few weeks, maybe a month, because momentum can come back into that stock at any moment. Traders remember tickers. Traders remember stocks that spike big. And a good example, if you've been around in the market for the past 6 months, I could tell you the tickers that spiked big, because they burn an imprint, a memory in your brain of how big they spiked. Recently, we had MTSL spike big. AWX spiked big. KBSF not too long ago spiked big. And GEVO, GEVO spiked big. So when those pop up in the future on the scanners and they're just going off crazy, that's going to get a lot of attention from traders. So going into ZYNE, when you're looking at the daily chart and you see big drops like this, I see one right here, And if I scroll back, I can't scroll back on this one. But if I go to trade ideas, let me pull this up. This is the daily chart. Alright? So I got a huge drop right here and a huge drop right here. No, that's a gap up. So if you pull up a daily chart and you see multiple big drops, more than likely that company either came out with horrible news or they did a public offering. And if you don't know what a public offering is, pretty much when the stock spikes big, so if a stock's at $1 and it spikes up to $5 in one day, that company is going to take those profits and invest them profits into their company to grow more. And it just totally screws over investors and traders if they're holding overnight or if they're swinging the stock. That's why you never really see me do swings on penny stocks, because they're companies that are either just starting or they're heading out the door. And whenever their stock spikes up and makes profit, you better, more than likely, they're going to want to take some of that profit to invest into their company because they've been actually putting themselves in debt. And I'm not going to lie, I've been burnt a couple times holding penny stocks overnight, and then the next day or at the market close, them coming out with a public offering and the stock literally dropping $1, $1.50. And it sucks. So that's why I don't hold stocks, penny stocks, overnight. If it's a higher price stock and it's an established company, then yeah, I'll swing it. But penny stocks, absolutely not. Moving on, we got CPMD. You know, this whole time now that wheat stocks have been trending up and blowing up, I really haven't been paying attention to them because they haven't really been popping up on my scanners, and I've just been playing what's been popping up on my scanners. So I'm not really getting into this wheat sector thing. Even the only one that really took off was CRON. That was the only one that really took off. You got bugs here, BUDZ. But a lot of these that I'm pulling up, these wheat stocks, they're all at the bottom right now, and they've been trending down the past week or 2 weeks. I don't want to get in and play something that is currently trending down. GWPH, too high. Alright, enough with this pot sector. I'm going to actually pull up my scans. Let's go over what's been happening in the market. Alright. So if any of you guys are on a desktop or a laptop, take pictures of every good chart that you see and save it to a file. And what I highly recommend, go into that file, highlight them all, and set them all to your desktop or your laptop background, and set it as a slideshow. That way, like every half hour or hour, your background changes to a new chart. And that way, you can start to memorize these charts and look at these charts. You were talking about not swinging penny stocks. What about IPOs? Also risky to swing. Let's say an IPO in NASDAQ. IPOs, swinging IPOs is very, very risky. I would never swing a new IPO. And that's just my personal opinion. You know, people don't even like trading new IPOs because it has no history. You don't know what it's going to do. It's new. It has no history of spiking. It has no history of panics. It's just too new. But if a new IPO comes out and it's low priced and it can get momentum, and there's nothing wrong with riding the momentum. Nothing wrong with it at all. You know, I'll do that, but when it comes to swinging an IPO or wanting to invest in a new IPO, I wouldn't do it. That's just my personal opinion. It's just too risky. You're at a disadvantage because you have no idea how the stock moves. Nothing. One more thing. No problem, El Toro. How long have you been trading for? One month since I dive in trading. 1 month. You got a long ways to go. Don't give up. Okay. You got a lot to learn. A lot. So, going back to when I first started out, you're gonna start learning a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. You're gonna start learning subject after subject after subject. The only thing I can say is it's gonna take time for you to grasp and understand and connect everything that you're learning. That's the best way I can describe it because there's so much to learn. You gotta learn chart patterns, fundamentals, technicals. You gotta put your screen time in. Okay. Yeah, NIO is a big mover. Let's see. Studying every day. Yup. That's the thing. Studying day in and day out. Study as much as you can. Also learn from other traders to, you know, enhance your learning curve. When I first started out, I learned from Timothy Sykes, and then I moved on to Sean Dekmar, and Investors Live, Warrior Trading, Mad Ass Trader. There's a lot of great. Oh, no problem. Always studying, man. That's 90% of traders fail. 90% of traders fail. You got to be that 10% that studies every single day, no matter what, even on your days off. You know, I get no days off because I'm always studying and looking at charts Saturday and Sundays. Okay, yep. I was with Sean Dekmar for a moment. There's a thing with Sean Dekmar, though. He plays a lot of low flow pumps, you know, and I really I got respect for Sean Deckmar because he taught me a lot, but he really only focuses on low float stocks under 5 million. He tries to keep it under 5 million. And when he's got a trading room filled with 500 people, you know, and he announces that he's buying a stock, he's going to have 300 people following him and buying that low float stock and jacking the price up. And when that happens, you know, he dumps his 10K shares on all of his, you know, community. But I've learned a lot from Sean, and, you know, you can learn a lot from Sean Deckmar. But you got a lot to learn. A lot to learn. Another thing I would highly recommend, don't be cheap on your education. If you're cheap on your education, then you're going to pay a lot of tuition to the market for your losses. A lot. Yup, no problem. One of my biggest losses ever came with Sean Deckmar. I'm not, now don't get me wrong, I'm not downing him or nothing. He's a great trader. He wants to help other people trade, and I've learned a lot from him. But there was one ticker, I still remember it, AYTU. We were in a halt on it, and it was halted for an hour and a half. And when it opened, it literally dropped $1.50. And I took a loss of like $1,500 on that. But I was new, you know, I was a goat. I followed everything Sean Deckmar did. I followed all his trades. And you want to be self-sufficient in the market. You don't want to rely on nobody else. You want to do your own thing and not rely on somebody giving a stock pick to make money. Took a huge drop. A very, very good one. I really like Investors Underground a lot. Tandem Trader. He's got a DVD out. Tandem Trades. Very, very great DVD. Out of all the trading DVDs out there, and I've seen just about all of them, by far one of my favorites is Tandem Trades and Investors Underground. Yup. You can also find them on YouTube as well. Yeah, I learned a lot from, let me pull up the DVD real quick. After I pull it up, I'm going to go back to the stock scanners. Let's see. Oh, you already have it? Alright then. Yeah, it's a great, great DVD. You'll learn a lot from it. And they're really, really, yeah, he actually cares, and their chat room is like one of the best. What is it, like $180 a month for their chat room and all that? And live stream. I think he does a live stream. But really great guys. And there's other traders to learn from as well. I like Warrior Trading, but Warrior Trading is, the way he trades is, he's not under the PDT rule, so his account is above 25,000, so he trades 10, 15, 20 times a day. And, you know, he doesn't have any trading restrictions. You know, small accounts, whether under the PDT rule, only allow 3-day trades a week in a 5 rolling day period. You know, they got to use their trades very wisely. But Tandem Trader DVDs 1 and 2 right here. Very great. Love it. But getting up to NIO. NIO was released as a new IPO. The thing that got a lot of traders and got me though was the daily chart. Now if I pull up the daily chart right here, oh, they changed it now. Okay. So if you 3 days ago when you went back on this, I don't know if they reused the ticker that had a chart history, but this previously did have a chart history. And the last time it traded was back in 2012, and then this opened up. Final question, not so distract you so much about broker. I'm in Colombia. Which one do you recommend? I'm paper trading at Trade Zero right now. No, you're not bugging me, El Toro. That's a tough one because you're in Colombia, and I don't know about any offshore brokers too much. I only know about the brokers here in the States. Yeah, commissions can be tough. I could tell you right now, though, stay away from SureTrader. SureTrader is, they'll destroy you in commissions, and just SureTrader, a lot of people with small accounts go to SureTrader because they don't have the PDT rule because they're an offshore broker. But SureTrader is just garbage. I run with TD Ameritrade and I run with Charles Schwab, but that's in the United States. Now, I don't know too much about offshore brokers, so I'm sorry I can't answer that question. But there's a there's a website. Where is it? 1 second. Investimonials.com. Yep. Right here. Investimonials.com. This is a site by traders, for traders. They do reviews on all kinds of products, everything. DVDs, newsletters, books, websites, and they have brokers right there. So you'll get all the top stock brokers, and they'll break it down, doing reviews on each broker from other traders, Forex brokers, best penny stock brokers. There you go. And that's investimonials.com/brokers. Here, I'll copy the link. I'll put it in the chat. There you go. You know, I'm not sure about that. No problem, Toro. I love helping people. I have no problem at all. I was once in those shoes where I had 1,000 questions and nobody really to answer them for me. But what you're looking for should be investimonials.com. I love that site, and I recently just picked up a book from Investimonials that I can't wait to start reading and diving into. But NIO is a new IPO, and this is what happened when new IPOs come out. So when you check the new IPO calendars, write down the upcoming new IPOs that are coming out, because you don't know if they'll get momentum and just volume just starts heading into it, you know, and jacking this up. And that's what happened with this. This opened right here at around $6, came down to $5.30 to $6.50, and this is the 15-minute chart. And this thing went from 6 all the way up to 13.87. Crazy, crazy move right there. And then it pops up a little bit right here and then falls down. And this is still going to be on the watch list because momentum can easily turn back into this. And another thing, when it's the market, a lot of it is about psychology and the way you think about things and thinking what other people are going to do. So when I first got introduced into the market, I was only focused on stocks under $1 because I had the mindset of, well, if this stock's at 25 cents, I can buy 1,000,000 shares of it or 50,000 shares, and if it goes up 10 cents, I make this much money. And you're looking at the good in it when you're not realizing, well, what if it goes down 10 cents? Then you're screwed and you blew up your whole account. If you take a second and look back, it really doesn't matter about your size when you're buying shares. If a volatile stock is volatile, you can make good money. No matter if the stock is $1, $50, or $100. So if you got a stock that's $100 and it's got a range of $7, even if you were to buy 100 shares at $100, that's $1,000. If it's got a range of $7, that's a potential profit of $700. I learned that actually, it was like 3 days. That's why I highly recommend these trading DVDs. You know, even when get them on MP3, put them on your phone, and when you're out and about, get headphones and just listen to it, doing whatever you're doing. If your work allows it, just constantly be listening to these and listen to them over and over and over again, because something will stick in your head and it'll make a lot of sense. You know, it usually takes, like reading a book, they say it takes reading a book to read it 3 to 5 times to remember everything in that book. And it's just like watching these trading DVDs or these YouTube videos. Watch them over and over and over again, and you'll learn something new that you didn't catch the first time. And there's a lot of psychology in trading, a lot. And that's why I say you gotta put your time in and your screen time in to actually see what's happening, go through the emotions, and then you'll start to just put everything together piece by piece. And a lot of people, you know, after a couple months, they say, oh, I'm not screw trading. It's not for me. It's rigged. No, that's not the case. You just got to dedicate yourself, put the time in, and actually understand what's happening. So this is my setup here on Trade Ideas. One sec, I got to take something to drink. Again, I love Trade Ideas. It's $118 a month, which may seem crazy and outrageously priced, but Trade Ideas, to me, makes me money. It shows me where volume is. It shows me where the action is. I can do a custom scan any way I want in one trade. All it takes is one trade to pay for this and still make profit. I make a trade on something, I make $300. I paid for Trade Ideas, and I'm still profiting, you know? And I'm good for that one day, that one trade. Paid for it the rest of the month. Yep, I'll be sure to do that, El Toro. Just hit that subscribe button to my channel. I'm always uploading videos all the time. I've made videos. If you go through my playlist, I have book recommendations. I think there's a video called Pure Gold. Watch that one. That one's just jam-packed, filled with information. Okay. Or you could email me at TradingLearning101@gmail.com. There's all kinds of great stuff in the video library. I've also created playlists of all the great YouTube videos that I think that are out there that are very educational. Well, if we go to the trade ideas, I got the biggest percentage gainers here. Go to the configure and advanced. And I have this set. It's scanning for stocks between 50 cents and $10. I'm going to change this to, I'm going to say 0.20. The change from the close, I want to change that from 3 to 3%. The volume today, at least 125,000. I'm going to change this to 100,000. Go to the time frame. Let's go to Friday. MYSC. There was great opportunity on MYSC. I was looking to make a trade on this Friday, but I don't like trading Fridays because there's really no volume in the market on Fridays. Companies don't really release press releases. But I was watching this right in this area here. And I was being patient, seeing if it would break out through this 150 level and keep going for its next leg up, because right here is lunchtime, so it's consolidating. That's why they say the first hour and a half of the day is the most volatile. Then you go into lunch hours where it goes sideways, and then the last hour, 2 hours of the day, they call it power hour. That's when you'll see the next volatile move. So we have support right here at $1.30. You draw a resistance line here at $1.45. When this pulled back, I was wanting to get in right here and riding this up to this resistance line and start scaling out and holding my other half to see if it would break out and run, but I didn't. I only took one trade last week, and that was on Tuesday. I took a trade, so it was a $50 profit. One second, guys. I'm going to take a break for a moment, alright?